Hi everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Tax Tips channel. My name is Cherry Chen, a chartered professional accountant located in Oakville, Ontario, Canada. And I'm on a mission to become the Google map for hardworking Canadians seeking financial freedom. Today's topic is one that some of my clients are being exposed to, so I figure I would be using this as the topic to share the tax implication for something called cash for keys. And what is cash for keys? Well, cash for keys is essentially landlord pay to the tenants in exchange to get our keys back and for them to vacate the property, the rental property. We are going to talk about why landlords offer it and how it's treated for both landlord and also for tenant as well. But before I get started, make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below if you find our channel useful. Now, with that, let's get started. Now, cash for keys, getting tenants to leave isn't as easy as giving just simply proper notice, especially in Ontario in today's climate, where tenant protections are very strong and often misunderstood as well. If you are a landlord looking to renovate, raise rent, or simply not getting the rent, or if you want to get your house back to for personal use, or if you plan to sell the property, you've probably heard of the term or even being offered cash for keys. Now let's break that down about what it is and why landlords offer it and how it's treated from a tax perspective. What is cash for keys? Cash for keys is exactly what it sounds like. You offer your tenant money for them to move out early and hand over your keys. Doesn't have to be move out early, but simply sometimes it's just in exchange for them to leave. So then you can stop losing money on that property, especially for tenants who do not pay. Now, it's not required by law, but in many cases, it's the only practical way to regain control of your property without months of stress. Because we all know Ontario Landlord Tenant Board is not necessarily on the landlord side, and it's also not working for tenants at the same time. Now, why would a landlord pay a tenant to leave? Well, let me share a story. Last year, we sold the property. The reason why we sold the property was because we told the tenant that we had an intention to sell the property when they vacate the property, and they decided to take it upon themselves. They looked for a new property to rent. They always wanted a bigger location, bigger house. The one that they were renting from us, it was a small, tiny little bungalow on the Hamilton Mountain. This tenant asked us after they found the next property for their personal home. They came to us and they asked us to be the reference for their next place, to be the landlord reference, because the next landlord also asked us to talk to them. We know that she was clearly planning to move. When we asked her about her confirmation to leave, instead of confirming that she's going to leave, she came back and asked from us for 4 months of rent compensation and plus the moving costs. Well, at first it felt a little bit uneasy on my side because she's the one who initiated the move and she wanted to move. Not necessarily us. Yes, we told her that our plan eventually is to sell the property. But regardless, going back and forth, we finally settled on a more reasonable number. Instead of 4 months of rent, we settled on a smaller number. And honestly, it was worth it for us. And we were able to sell the property after they vacated the property. Now, the cash for keys that I paid for her, it was worth the time for us to issue the payment because cash for key is a business decision, in my opinion. In most cases, paying the tenant to leave is all about the numbers. Here are the 4 common reasons. The first, the tenants just stopped paying. A lot of tenants nowadays decided not to pay for whatever reason. They could be blaming on the economy, they could be blaming on the landlord not doing certain repairs. If the tenant decide not to pay altogether, it is a lengthy process for the landlord to go through the landlord-tenant board process. It could be months, if not years, before the landlord would be legally allowed to kick the tenant out. And then for all the overdue amount of rent, for the rents that are outstanding, the landlord would have to go back to small claims court to go after the money. And it's an even longer process for the landlord to go through in order to recover the lost rent. So sometimes as a business owner, if you look at rental portfolio as an investment, as a business, it may be cheaper just to pay the tenant to leave immediately if they have no money to to pay us. Maybe it's just cheaper. It is totally against any logic that you can have, but at the same time, from a big picture perspective, it may just be cheaper to pay that person out instead of waiting for months and months of landlord-tenant board hearing. So that's the reason why that's the number one reason many of our clients are using cash for keys to incentivize the tenants to leave the property, even though it was the tenant who refused to pay rent to begin with. Second reason is the tenant is just not keeping up with keeping the property in good shape. Sometimes a lot of us, especially in Ontario, for us to maximize the value, the cash flow value of the property, on a monthly basis, we have duplexes, we have triplexes, we have fourplex, we have many multiplexes. And these multiplexes would require the tenants to comply with certain set of standards, because if you are smoking every single day within the unit, it's going to affect your upstairs tenant, neighbor as well. So if these tenants are not complying with the law or with the rule, it may cause a lot of issues, and it may cause personal harm to other tenants. And in that case, we would need to get the tenant out. And sometimes, again, it is easier or faster just to go through the process of cash for keys. And then you would be able to have the tenant removed from the property on a relatively fast and diplomatic way. Now, the third reason is that you're trying to sell the property simply because you're done with this property and you want out, and you're trying to sell the property. And majority, as in today's market, majority of the buyers would prefer vacant possession. And in Ontario, if you want to have vacant possession, it's possible to do it the proper way. And to do it the proper way means that the buyer would have to declare that the buyer is going to use the unit as the buyer's primary residence, or the buyer is going to use the unit as their family member's primary residence. So that has to be declared from the buyer side. So if you have a tenant living in your property, it's less likely that the buyer wants to jump through those hoops, and making your rental unit a little bit undesirable compared to other vacant units. So from that perspective, and plus, when you do the showing, you're also going to show your tenants' belongings and everything. It may not be as beneficial from a marketing and pricing perspective to sell your property. And again, it goes back to the same idea. Business decision, it may be actually cheaper to pay your tenant to ask the tenant out and cash for keys, pay that cash for keys, and you have a nice house for showing. And you can maximize the dollar, you make back the money on the sale of the property. And that's, again, a business decision. The fourth reason is simply because the tenant has been there for a long time, and the unit is under repair, and you really need to go into the unit to do some major repair. Otherwise, the unit is in such a bad shape that you need to go in to do some renovation. Now, in order for that to happen, you will have to compensate for the tenant to leave the property. So then you would be able to go in to do the renovation. For that reason, you'll do cash for keys again, so that you would be able to get your money back, and in exchange, you would be able to do the renovation. And eventually, you would be able to raise the rent when you rent it to the next tenant. That indirectly would also increase the property value. Now, we finished talking about the reason why people do cash for keys. Now let's go into talking about, can you deduct the cash for keys payments on your taxes? Well, that depends on why you're paying the tenant. Well, you are eligible to deduct regardless on why you're paying the tenant. It's just the deduction could be different. 100% is deductible. The other version of it is that if you fall under a different category, then it will only be 50% deductible. Now, it is deductible if you're planning to keep the property and continue to rent it out. So you're getting rid of the tenant that's non-paying, and you're going to turn that unit around and then rent it out, continue to generate rent. then it would be 100% deductible. Maybe you want to renovate, increase rent, or just bring in a better tenant. Those would be the reason why you will be able to deduct 100% of the expense. And the payment, the cash for keys payment, is considered a current expense. You can deduct it in full, probably the year you pay for it, unless when you do the cash for keys, there are still remainder of the term period on your lease. And let's be honest, most residential leases are either month to month or set to expire soon, which is really the reason why you are doing the cash for keys. So CRA usually lets you write it off right away, assuming that there is no ongoing lease commitment left to amortize. Now, if it is not 100% deductible right away, if the reason why you're paying the cash for keys is because you're planning to sell the property and stop renting it out. In this case, CRA might actually say that the payment is a capital expense because you are incurring the expense for the purpose of not earning more money, but for the purpose of selling the property. And that means you cannot deduct it as a current expense now to offset against your rental income, but you would be able to add it to the cost of the property. And when you sell the property for a higher price, you would be able to use the higher cost of the property to offset against your capital gain later. Now, if I use an example, if the property purchase price all in is about $500,000 and you pay $10,000 cash for keys to someone else, and ultimately you sold the property for $600,000, so you would be able to deduct the $10,000 cash for keys expense. But the way that you deduct it is you add the $10,000 to the $500,000 purchase price. So now your cost base becomes $510,000. And you sold the property for $600,000. So now you pay tax on that $90,000 capital gain. And that $90,000, as we all know it, is capital gain. So 50% would be taxable, so $45,000 would become taxable. Now, using that as an example, what it really means is that your cash for keys, if you incur the cash for keys expense for the purpose of selling the property, because the capital gain is only 50% taxable, you would only be able to claim 50% of the expense. So that's what the difference is. You are still eligible to deduct it, whether you deduct it as a current expense, which is way more preferable because 100% is tax deductible, or the other way, you deduct it as a capital expenditure added to the cost of the building and offset against the capital gain. This would only be 50% deductible. Is cash for keys taxable from the tenant side? Well, technically speaking, CRA sees it also as a capital gain on the tenant's leasehold interest. So the cash for keys payment is a capital gain on the leasehold interest that the tenant is getting. But if the unit is their primary residence, this capital gain is essentially considered a personal use property, and any gain is likely not taxable because it is a primary residence. So yes, tenants get cash, and no, they probably don't have to pay tax on it. Now, final thoughts. Cash for key isn't about being nice. It is, to me, a business strategy, a business decision. If you've ever struggled to get a tenant out, you know how time-consuming and draining it can be. So offering cash for keys gives you control, speed things up, and sometimes even saves you money in the long run. So just be sure to keep clear records of why you pay it, understand whether it's a current or capital expense, and talk to your accountant before claiming the deduction. Until next time, happy Canadian real estate investing!